I'm Elliot Morgan, this is SourceFed. Once upon a time, there was a California man by the name of Charles Francis Gaskins, and there was his wife, Sandra Sheaves, and they were quite the duo. Gaskins was a Peckerwood, and Peckerwoods are a white supremacist gang, and Gaskins was initiated into the gang way back during a previous stay in the big house. Okay, so everything's cool, right? You have Gaskins, and he's going through all the prison stuff, getting into gangs, making friends, not dropping the soap, whatever, and he goes on probation and moves in with his wife, Sandra Sheaves. Okay, so everything's cool, right? And they're there making homemade dinners and watching American History X, and maybe Gaskins does some meth every now and then, whatever. When they get a call from Neil Hayes, a buddy of Gaskins back in his prison days. Well, Hayes had been released on probation, and he was like, excuse me, I need a place to stay. And our good Samaritan racist was like, yeah, bro, stay with us, white power, or something like that, I don't know. Okay, so everything's cool, right? And Hayes moves in with them. And Mrs. Sheaves is like, wait a minute, Google is a thing. So she hops on the Megan's Law website and finds out that, uh-oh, they have a convicted child molester living with them, and that's never good. She passes this juicy info on to her husband. So Gaskins is like, everything's cool, right? Okay, I'm a Peckerwood, and Peckerwoods require that any member attack a white person who has a history of child molestation. All right. So everything is not cool at this point, right? So Gaskins confronts Neil Hayes in his garage, then grabs a rock and beats Hayes to death with it. So then his wife comes out, sees that this man is being beaten to death, helps tie him up, put him in the trunk, and dump his body on the side of the road. Fast forward 4 years later, and the story isn't over. Gaskins is getting 26 years to life for murdering a child molester, while his wife is getting 8 years because she did a plea deal. Gaskins has absolutely no remorse, and his wife is set to be released in 2 months due to time served. Judge Sharon Luerez, who agreed to the plea deal, told Ms. Sheaves, in a way, you almost instigated this by showing the information from Megan's Law to Mr. Gaskins. Almost, Your Honor? Okay, now in fairness, this is kind of a gray area, right? Because you have this one guy and maybe he murdered somebody, but the person he murdered was a pedophile, so was a bad person, and it's just kind of like, what do I think? Oh, wait a minute. No, it's actually not a gray area. Murder is wrong. Here's how the debate in this situation goes. Yeah, but he was a child molester, and murder is wrong. Yeah, but the guy probably deserved to die, and murder is wrong. Yeah, but child molesters are like barely people anyway, and murder is wrong. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sad that a child molester is dead, but let's move past this whole like, give the guy a Medal of Honor bullcrap. Murder is wrong. This has been Controversial Opinions with Elliot. Now, there are other issues here that I do find baffling. For instance, is this whole Megan's Law thing good if crazy gang members can target people who serve their time in prison? Does the good outweigh the bad? Does it generate maybe more paranoia than safety? Can convicted child molesters ever fully rehabilitate if their crimes are forever broadcast for all to see? I'd much rather have stories like this spur discussions on possibly dangerous legislation than just like tickle our vigilante funny bone and be like, yeah, you should have died. It's not as much fun, but maybe it's more useful. So for the question here, answer one of the above questions. Or you can maybe try to convince me that murder isn't always wrong, because that could be fun too. Please like the video, share it with all of your friends, especially John, because I think he needs to see this. I'm Elliot Morgan. Have a great day.